Here is going to be the final outcome of the backup camera. We're going to go ahead and put it into reverse. There's the reverse. You can see we're going backwards. What is happening, automotive fanatics? It's Peter, your automotive fanatic, coming at you guys with another DIY today. Those of you who are new to my channel, I want to go ahead and welcome you. Here at the Automotive Fanatic, what I do as a DIYer, I show average Joes like you and I how to do projects on your vehicles and show you that it can be done. Those of you that are returning, thank you so much for checking out another video of mine and supporting the channel. Today, what we are working on is a backup camera specifically designed for the Porsche 911 997. What I'm going to do is I'm going to integrate the head unit. Now, today's vehicle that we are working on has the upgraded PCCM Plus radio, and we are going to integrate a backup camera into it. Can that be done? Absolutely. I've done it a handful of times. It works out very well, and the PCCM brings the car a little more up to date, and by adding a backup camera, that even takes it to the next level. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do today. There are going to be a few things that you need to successfully install this project. Obviously, you need to have the PCCM Plus radio. You're going to have a backup camera. Now, the one that I picked, the mounting is specifically for a 911 997. It will also work on the 991 platform. So I'm going to show you what the camera is all about. So here is your backup camera, and the way that it mounts is it just replaces the 911's license plate lights, and it looks just factory, which I really love about it. You're going to need one of these. I suggest that you also buy a blank one because you want to replace both LED lights on the license plate. Otherwise, it totally mismatches and it doesn't look good. So just spend that extra couple bucks to take something like this, and we're going to mount this. In addition to this stuff here, you're going to need a drill bit. This one is, let's call it just a larger 5/8 drill bit, and it's really not a drill bit. All it is it allows a larger opening in the vehicle. And then the last thing that you really need, you're going to need, I believe it's called a FACRA cable or something like that, but it's a FACRA female cable to an RCA, because this is what connects your camera to the PCCM Plus radio. So you do need to get this. I will provide all of you guys the link in the description to help you get it taken care of. So those are the parts you're going to need. From a high-level overview, what you do need to do to work on the car, you need to remove the subwoofer box. If you have the Bose system, you're going to need to remove a back panel trim on the very back of the hatch. That allows you to access one of the larger, I'll call it holes in the firewall, where you can run cabling through. Now, earlier when I had talked to you guys about drilling, I know it might scare you a little bit, but let me just assure you, it is going to be okay. The back end of the 911, there is a large hole in the body, and I believe it's probably a good 3 inches. It's essentially just a grommet that goes in there. You've got some cabling that goes there. That drill bit that I showed you, it needs to be drilled or used to drill through that plastic or rubber grommet. It's safe. There's plenty of rooms. Again, I've done it many times. You just have to be very careful about it. You're going to access it through the passenger's tail light. So we do need to remove that. And then once you're running the cables through, you're essentially going to run all the wiring up to the head unit, and we'll go ahead and connect it at that point. So without further ado, let's get started on this project on the 911. Alright, so I'm in the back hatch of the 911, and there are going to be things that you need to remove. With the stock Bose subwoofer, you need to remove it. Now you're going to have two air ports. This is the air port here, and all you do is you just pull it off. It just clips right in. There's going to be two, let's see, they are T30 bolts you need to remove here, because what it does, it bolts the Bose subwoofer to the vehicle. So you need to remove that. You're going to have these little seat retainers here, and that's going to be a 6mm Allen. So you need to remove this part. Over there, you're also going to remove that. And what it does is it just simplifies the process of removing the subwoofer. This subwoofer itself, there's just going to be a Molex connection that you disconnect. So remove that. Now, hopefully you can see back here. There is a back trim right there. What you need to do is you need to get some type of trim removal tool underneath it, and you'll pull it out. There's essentially about 5 metal clips that hold it in, and it's relatively safe to pull. I have never broken anything, knock on wood. It stays like that. But you'll pull it out, and what that does is, if you can see my finger in the corner, that is the corner that we are going to access that allows us to get the cabling through that firewall hole that's in the stock body. So we'll go ahead and go through there. That's going to be the process. I am going to go ahead and do all of the hard work back here, and we'll return in just a little bit. This is the back of the hatch. As you can tell, I went ahead and removed the subwoofer that was here. The reason why I did it is it allows me a little more room to work, and also when I'm running my cables through here, it's a much cleaner install because I could tuck it behind that panel. And there again, you see the rear panel removed from the end hatch. And we're going to go ahead and look over there. That is where my wire is going to come through. So I'm going to go ahead and fish the wire. I have to reach all the way in there to pull the wire through, and then we're just going to go ahead and run it down here. Here I have the rear tail light where we are going to access through here. There's going to be two star bits you simply remove. You'll pull this head, you'll remove the tail light from here, simply unplug the Molex, and you're going to see a small grommet that the cable runs through. You'll open it up. That is where the first hole that you're going to run the wiring through. Now there's going to be the main larger grommet that is on the chassis body inside here, and I'll show you that in just a moment. There you can see the large grommet we need to get through, and as you can tell, there's cabling that goes through it, and what you want to do is you actually want to drill slightly above it into that rubber grommet, and you'll be safe. I went ahead and drilled through that rubber grommet with the drill bit that I have, and it should open up a large enough spot for me to run the cable. Now I went into the vehicle on the other side, and I did feel the area around. It is nice and open, nothing was damaged, so we should be pretty much good to go. Let me go ahead and just kind of bring it out here to show you how we did it. There you can see kind of the hole that the power runs through on that little grommet that I just pulled back and drilled using that hole through to the other side. There you can see my cable at the end of the grommet on the engine bay side. The tough part is when you don't make the hole large enough, it's tough to get that cable RCA head through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to push it through and pull on the other side. In the cabin side, you can see where my fishing line, if you want to call it that, has come through. I managed to go ahead and push that RCA through the hole. So I am going to go ahead and try to pull this entire thing out through here. With this step here, I am installing the backup camera as well as the extra LED on this side to make it match. Now this is going to be your driver's side, passenger side. The way that I do it is obviously you have to disconnect the two older incandescent lights here so that you can install this one here. But what I do is I actually put the camera on the driver's side, because if you put it on the passenger side, it is a little too offset to the right, which I don't like. So what I do, I put it on the driver's side so that it's a little closer to center. Here is one of these here. Here is the second one. Now as you can tell, this is a little too long. So what I did was I essentially trimmed this to make it shorter so that it will go into this connector here. So just a quick side-by-side comparison, you can see it's a little shorter. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to essentially run a cable from this side of the bumper down here. I'm going to grab it and then I'm going to pull the power and the video cables through over there. Essentially snap this in place, snap this in place, and then we are done with the backup camera install on your OEM license plate area. On the outer portion of the tail, what I did with this grommet here that would go in here, I just put a tiny little slit large enough for the RCA head to go through, and I ran it through so that way when this part goes back into its little hole, you've got a nice little open area that you can route the cable instead of just running it over here. So this is going to be the RCA running through there. You've got your reverse signal, which is going to be the black and the blue. Brown is going to be ground. So I'm going to hook everything up here. I've got my cable here that I'm going to pull through and then get everything all connected here. With this step here, I went ahead and pulled the PCM or the PCCM plus out. It's secured here, and all I did was the 6th pin, the white one that goes in here, I pulled and disconnected it, and as you can tell here, this is going to be your 6th pin that also has your FACRA cable. This is the one that I told you goes into here. The PCCM does have this cable, but you do have to connect this. The other thing that's going to be very crucial is looking at this cable here, you have to add a trigger to the PCCM from the back reverse light. Looking at it here, the very top left is going to be slot number 6, you want to run a wire in through there. I went ahead and had it left out here so that I can connect the cable and the wiring underneath. But again, you need to set the power or the 12 volt positive when the reverse lights go on into pin number 6. So that is going to be nice and secure. I'm going to go ahead and plug it up. I have already tested it. It worked fine. The most crucial thing that you want to do is you need to run an auto detect. Once you have everything connected, before you finalize everything, just make sure you run that auto detect. It detects a signal from here to the PCM, so it turns it and allows it to have a backup camera. So that's going to be this part here. Here is the final outcome of the backup camera with the PCCM Plus head unit. We're going to put it into reverse. There is the backup. We're going to go ahead and back up. And as you can tell, it looks fantastic. It's very sharp with the camera that I used. It's got lines and everything. So again, excellent addition to the PCCM Plus head unit. I hope this video on the backup camera installed for the PCCM Plus was useful for you. In retrospect, I should have mentioned in the beginning that it would be somewhat of a modified video, and what I really wanted to showcase all of you is how to get a backup camera installed into the PCCM Plus and make it work. I know I didn't show you how to put together the PCCM and install it, but there's a lot of videos on how to do that, so I didn't want to go ahead and add that into the video. Overall, I don't think it's a very complicated installation. It's just a little tedious because you do have to do some pretty important kind of drilling through that one grommet that I told you about. Just make sure you've got all the tools. Give yourself plenty of time to make it work, and you should be okay. I also want to let you know that some parts of the video that you saw where the screen looked like it had some lines, that's just going to be the camera and the video recording that you see that. It actually does not appear when you're physically looking at it. So just be rest assured the quality of the PCCM Plus when you're doing a backup with the camera that I use, it is good and will provide you a decent look when you are reversing your car. I do once again want to thank all of you current subscribers as well as new subscribers for checking out another video of mine. Make sure, if you haven't already, smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel and help me get to that elusive 10,000 subscribers I'm chasing for 2025. Until the very next time, my automotive fanatic family, this is Peter, your automotive fanatic, signing off.